There are not many games left in the Chicago Bulls season, and I want to talk about something that is on my mind heading into the offseason. How the Chicago Bulls have once again placed themselves in a weird spot heading into the offseason. And Josh Giddey, you're on notice, buddy. I'm going to let you all know what I want to see from Josh Giddey versus the Indiana Pacers. Y'all know before we talk about it and break it all down, though, you gotta hear the music first. Cognac, gang. Shy Boys Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I am holding it down for today's daily episode. So if you're tuned in, like talking Bulls basketball, even if you currently have a headache with the franchise, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, I really want to talk about how the Chicago Bulls, though the offseason has not begun for the team, but necessarily how these guys have placed themselves in yet again another weird spot heading into the offseason. But I kind of want you all to follow me on this journey to how continuously we have done this to ourselves by not getting rid of the funk that is on our organization and team that we love. Now, follow me back to 2022 when the Chicago Bulls made the playoffs and they went off and focused on the Milwaukee Bucks in that first round matchup. Remember, during that season, they had to deal with the injury of Lonzo Ball after a hot start to the season. They get to the playoffs, they only win one game, and they get bounced. Over that offseason, they had to think about some adjustments that needed to be made from the center spot, backup center spot. What do they do with Lonzo Ball? There was a bit of uncertainty there. And what resulted in some of that uncertainty was the Chicago Bulls went and signed Andre Drummond, and they signed Goran Dragic. Ugh. And then in that draft, they selected Dalen Terry in that draft. So we come into the next season, we get to 2023, we enter the play-in where we win a game versus the Toronto Raptors, and then we lose to the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler, to where Jimmy Butler pretty much said after that game, there was no pressure. He put the Chicago Bulls back in their place. Over that offseason, the Chicago Bulls, they go out there, try to bring their heads together, and then try to make some type of decisions because they didn't have a draft pick. They get themselves back into the draft Julian Phillips, and they extend Nikola Vucevic at that particular moment. And leading up to the 2024 offseason, the Chicago Bulls insert themselves into the play-in again. Win versus the Atlanta Hawks, get stumped by the Miami Heat. In that game, it wasn't even close. The Miami Heat took a 17-point lead after the first quarter, and in the second quarter, they only scored 13 points, and they still went into the half with a 10-point lead. And then that offseason, they felt like certain moves needed to be changed. They need to start restructuring some stuff, moving some parts around, making some things happen. They trade Alex Caruso. They trade DeMar DeRozan. And they sign Patrick fucking Williams. Ugh. Now we get into the 2025 offseason. We play the Heat again in the play-in. This time, no Jimmy Butler. Tyler Hero puts 38 points on the Chicago Bulls' forehead. And after that game, we had players talking about they weren't disciplined enough to compete in the basketball game. That gets us an offseason of we need to be more physical. We need to be more tougher when it comes to facing off certain teams throughout, whatever it was for the Chicago Bulls. Now, With only just about 7 games left, including the one tonight versus the Indiana Pacers, the Chicago Bulls find themselves in yet another weird spot, and it is absolutely weird. Number one, look at your team. Look at your team. You went from having Caruso, Zach LaVine, DeMar, Ayo, Kobe, Drummond, all these other different players, to now the only two that's really left standing is Montes Buzelis and Josh Giddey. Maybe some of us out there, like myself, may give a little love to Leonard Miller, who I believe is going to stick around. Maybe some of us might even twinkle in or, sprinkle in a Rob Dillingham. But damn, look at all as was. It's not much to work with. So roster construction is definitely on the weird things that I'm going to go out there and continue to map out for you all. Yes, we have a ton of players on expiring contract. So maybe there is some money to go out there and help build up this team to where we can be much better or have a better sense of direction moving forward. Another thing that has been on the Chicago Bulls docket or heading into this offseason is that the Billy Donovan rumors. We're hearing that UNC, University of North Carolina, they have Billy Donovan at the top of the list of the coaching candidates that they want to interview. Then and that happened a couple weeks ago. Not too long ago, we're hearing that Billy Donovan doesn't want to work alongside this bozo by the name of Arturas Karnisovas. That's one of the things that we're hearing. We're hearing that he don't want to work next to Arturas Karnisovas. And keep in mind, those are just rumors. However it is, it's fine. But where there's smoke, there's typically fire, right? Now, we're hearing Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey coming out, being a problem in the locker room, according to some sources and some rumors. I already gave out my thoughts on it, talked about his mental health, but definitely looking at it, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. I do believe that he needs to go out there and seek some help. But the road that he's going down, it's not looking too good. And I will leave it at that. I have nothing else to comment on the situation. I will leave it at that because the certain people that don't want to have his best interest with getting him the valuable help that he needs, they're going to lead him to mass destruction. So we move on to now the Jaden Ivey stuff. Move on from that. There is a lot of smoke coming for the top guy that's running the show in Arturas Karnisovas. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a bing. Let's keep it 100, 1,000, 1 million. If Billy Donovan is out the door, Arturas should be joining him. And I don't even think it need to be up for discussion. I think everybody should be gone. That's just my personal belief. Look at the turmoil that has happened and transpired up until this point. I went from 2022, that offseason, until now, we're about to enter 2026 offseason. Years and years and years and years of evidence that is available to everybody to go out there and do their own research. Evidence that suggests that the people that's running this show don't have vision. The people that's running this show that once gave us the continuity moniker don't know what the hell they're doing. The people that's supposed to be making really good decisions or at least transactions that make sense and have some type of equal value to what you're pushing out, they're not capable. So it comes down to we're back in a weird spot. And as long as this guy's running the show, the Chicago Bulls are screwed. And that is not an April Fool's joke. Real talk. So I think that from where we started back to 2022 up until this point, there is so much stuff that we can all go over. There is so much stuff that we can go out there and regurgitate from years past. It is time to end it. It is time to move forward. It is time to reset, restart, whatever you want to put right there. It is time. We don't need these guys to be running the show. And I already had the belief that Billy Donovan, if the rumors are true, did not rock with Arturas Karnisovas because he is an idiot, in my personal opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry. That's me. I don't speak for nobody else. That is me. You can't tell me in one draft before a draft that you need help with the center position and you draft Dalen Terry. You can't tell me that you want your head coach to go and scout Derek Queen and you draft Noah Essengate. And I don't even know how Essengate gonna be. There has been dysfunction after dysfunction or conflict amongst Billy and AK for a long time, in my personal belief. That's just me. It never really made sense. Hindsight is 2020. Some moves, when we look on earlier, when we go back and say, oh, shit, you got Lonzo. Oh, shit, you got Caruso. Oh, shit, yeah. Cool. But when it was time to move off of him and be a good GM, you didn't do it. So we're back in this weird spot on how the hell we can go out there and make this team a legit competitor. And I'm talking about taking the steps to appropriate competition. Look at the fucking Atlanta Hawks right now. Look at the Atlanta Hawks. AK would have held on to Trae Young. Atlanta Hawks say, hey, man, we got a better player, a couple more players, and we believe they could fit better without Trae Young. Look at the Charlotte Hornets. They went out there, went through their struggles, but drafted correctly. Made moves appropriately. Now look at the Charlotte Hornets. When you screw up or you refuse to do certain things with some type of future in mind, with some type of vision in mind, you end up like the Chicago Bulls. Lost. And way behind. So that's what it comes down to for me, man, for the Chicago Bulls. We're in a weird spot. I hope that change is going to come. And hopefully it's somebody that's competent to run the show. He goes out there and get some type of coach that can come in and make some noise for the Chicago Bulls, man. But, hey, before we get up out of here, I want to talk about the Chicago Bulls matchup tonight versus the Indiana Pacers and why I'm looking at Josh Giddey specifically. There's a number of things that I would like to see from the Chicago Bulls, and that is always the same thing I've been saying for the last few days. If you've been watching, you know I always talk about me wanting to see more out of Rob Dillingham, more minutes for Leonard Miller, and aggressiveness for Montes Buzelis. But Josh Giddey, you look like a person that is not interested. It's easy to shut this shit down, bro. It's easy to shut this shit down. Jaden Ivey just shut this shit down. Real talk. Players shut this shit down all the time. If you're not going to go out there and play interested basketball, don't put your ass on the court. I don't want to watch. Real talk. Don't go out there and spit in our face when we wasting our time watching y'all and you out there not even giving a fuck. That's just my personal belief, though. You are a player who has seemed uninterested in anything basketball, which is fair. I'm not going to go too crazy on the whole thing. But if you're on a basketball court, I need more energy out of you. I need more leadership from you. And that's not just bitching and barking on the side. That's actually playing the game of basketball. You're arguing with your teammates. You're flailing. You're complaining on the side, which is all fine and dandy because you're in a shitty situation. However, there's a better way that you can be a leader. It's a better way you can be a leader. You see, to shut this shit down, but if you enter the basketball court, we need to see better, bro. That's just it. You have to be better than what you have shown us over these last few games. It ain't all about stats for me. Anybody knows me that when I talk about basketball, I talk about it in two different ways. We're going to talk about the stats. I'm going to talk about what my eyes have shown me. Josh Giddey has caught the ball in certain spots on the basketball floor and just fucking stood there, which is not necessarily bad all the time, but damn, no energy? Nothing? Just fuck all us that's just watching the game, right? No, it has to be better than that. We're not going to allow it. We got to suffer through this shit. You got to suffer through this shit. That's just how I go. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong for that. The energy could be better, bro. Yeah, you can cut your teammates out. Y'all getting a little argument. Shit, that shit happens. But there's a better way you can be a leader. You're the guy now. You're the quote-unquote guy now. Be better, bro. But hey, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode. Before y'all get up out of here, excuse me, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you always see red, man. We're going to try to end this season as strong as we can because your boy ready to shut it down. I'm ready to shut it down forward. Not even going to lie to y'all, man. But y'all already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace. Cognac.